Like I said, on this FZR, this kid didn't take care of the bike, so I haven't looked inside it yet, but it's a good thing to clean out the top end at least. So that's what I'm doing today. Is I'm gonna run some seafoam in it. Well, actually, I already did run some seafoam in it. I'll show you guys here. I got the air box off the bike. Here are the carbs. And what I did yesterday was I drained all 4 float bowls on my carbs, and I disconnected the fuel line here coming from my fuel pump, and I took a small funnel and I filled up the bowls on the carbs with seafoam. Then what I did, with the choke turned on, I turned over the engine, and because it was straight seafoam, the bike wasn't able to start. Well, actually it started for, I don't know, half a second, but then killed right away because that bike doesn't want to run on straight seafoam. But that was enough to get that seafoam worked into the carbs. Then what I did was I let it sit for 24 hours. And seafoam is a solvent, which is why I'm seafoaming the bike this way, as opposed to a lot of guys just running straight seafoam into their vacuum lines, letting it sit for 10 minutes, and then taking the bike out and smoking out the neighborhood, which is impressive, I guess, if you want to make a lot of smoke. But you run a little seafoam in there, let it sit for 24 hours, let that seafoam thoroughly soak into the carbs, and then we're on to the next step. This is going to be actually a 48-hour cleaning total, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain that straight seafoam from the bowls again, and I'm going to put a little bit of straight gas in there so I can get the bike up and running. And then with that fuel line disconnected, I'm going to pour seafoam into the funnel as long as I can until the bike kills. I'll rev up the engine a little bit, and that's going to work that seafoam into the cylinders, and that's going to clean the top end of the engine. And I will let that, well, once I do that, I'm going to shut off the bike, and I'm going to let that seafoam work for an additional 24 hours. Really let that solvent penetrate. And then I'm going to take the bike out for probably a 20-mile ride. I'm going to get the RPMs up there and burn off that residual seafoam. And then I'm going to do an oil change, because that seafoam's going to remove a lot of that gunk and carbon that's in the engine. So I'm going to flush that out with a fresh oil change. So I'm going to drain the seafoam out of the bowls, and then I'm going to start the video from there and show you guys what I'm doing.